This is going to be a tough point. The Cubs with the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmeiro over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series. Looking, finds Rose. Rose trying to get open, fires away. Bang! It's over. The Bulls win at the buzzer.
Welcome to Windy City Weekly. I'm your host, Jalen Ferguson, and of course, my co-host, Grant Godwin, and my three guests with me. We got the Kendalls, Hunter, and Zachary, and then we have Gage.
What's up?
So, yeah. But how you guys been on this windy Friday?
Very good, very good.
Yeah, you said it is very windy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're seeing people like fall down just because the wind is so strong.
Yeah.
So, I didn't, and I'm doing well.
Yep. How about you, Hunter?
Can't complain.
Yep. That's good. But so first we're going to talk about USA's hockey team winning gold in overtime 2-1. Grant, you wanted to talk about this, so I'm going to let you have this one.
This was an incredible day for our country. USA Hockey beating Team Canada. We knocked off Connor McDavid and we knocked off Team Canada, and he choked. Connor McDavid choked in the playoffs in the Olympic hockey. It was awesome to watch. Go USA Hockey.
Greatest hockey game I think I've ever seen in my life. Well, I mean, obviously there's a lot of good ones, but that one was an incredible one. It was awesome.
Okay, I thought he was going to say more. Well, we do have more to say, but yeah, I've only gotten into hockey really the last 4 years, thanks to this guy over here. And, it was great to watch because, we had to get our get back from the Four Nations, what happened a year prior, where Canada won in overtime. That game went to overtime as well. So we had to get our get back, and Jack Hughes came up big.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, I speak for everybody, that on that morning I woke up, instantly put on the miracle speech from halftime. Instantly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to let y'all talk about it some more. Cause
I'll go into the game analysis in a second. But do you have anything else to add? Do you have anything?
Not me personally, but yeah.
So let me just say, that game did not go USA's way at all. Woke up early to watch it. And from the first shift, obviously you put on Miracle. I had to watch the speech. I took a shower, watched the speech, all that stuff. Who was watching? It was me, Grant, Hunter, and Zach were watching. And the first shift for USA could not have gone any better. They were physical, and they were great. After that, not much was great about that game. Matt Boldy scored a beautiful goal. Got it through Cale Makar and Devontae's, thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Devontae's right through, scores, makes it 1-0 early. But besides that, very rough game from USA. Defense, which just let up shot after shot after shot, and Connor Hellebuyck stood on his head. Played like the MVP that he won last year. Incredible saves, some of the greatest saves I've ever seen from a player in my life. And just a great game. Obviously then, they still playing bad. Canada ties it. But I was kept saying if they can just get through this third period, they'd be fine. They really didn't. They played really bad in the third again. But I remember telling Zach and I remember telling Hunter, I'm like, their best chance to win it is 3-on-3 overtime. Best chance to win 3-on-3 overtime, and that's exactly what happens. McDavid makes a mistake. He actually goes to the net. Probably should have stepped back a little bit to let all three rushers get into the zone. Doesn't do that. USA grabs it and becomes a 3-on-1. Zach Nowinski who passed it? Zach Nowinski passed it to a wide-open Jack Hughes who shoots it and goes right through the 5-hole. USA wins it, and I think that is, for a kid that watched the 2014 team and that failed with Patrick Kane, who was one of my favorite players growing up, who watched that team fail and not make it even to the final and watched them lose 1-0 to Canada, that kid was very happy that day, and that was some of the greatest moments I've ever seen from a sport in a while.
Yeah, you can rewrite what's it called? You can rewrite your own history, really, if you perform really well. And, if anyone doesn't understand how good Canada hockey is, like the Canada national team, I mean, I thought the U.S. had obviously the second best roster. Russia wasn't involved, so I feel like if Russia was involved, they'd have the second best, and the USA would have the third, but they weren't involved, so the USA had the second best roster. But nothing compares to what Canada has. I mean, Canada has the first best player, the best player in hockey right now, the second best player in hockey right now, the best defenseman in hockey, and they got some other very talented players, like they had Macklin Celebrini on this roster, and he wasn't a part of the Four Nations previously, and he came on, and, I just want to say I think Canada should have had Connor Bedard on there because I think he would have scored the breakout goal that Celebrini could not. But yeah, I like Quinn Hughes was huge for the U.S. I mean, he only showed up, again, talking about the Four Nations real quick, he only showed up the last game, and I don't even think he played in that last game either.
No. He
just showed up as like a reserve in case someone couldn't go. So he wasn't playing in that tournament, but Quinn Hughes is the best U.S. defenseman that the U.S. could have provided. John Cooper, talking about the coaches, John Cooper is a way better coach than Mike Sullivan. He just is. But, they stood in there, grinded it out. Connor Hellebuck, I mean, what's more to say? He's been known as being like a quote-unquote playoff dropper, and this is one of the biggest games of his life, and he just stood in the goal, blocked shot after shot. 41 saves out of 42 shots is incredible, especially that one where Tays supposedly missed a wide open net, then watched the replay. He just got this knob of the stick on it, and it's a part of the stick that you don't really see goalies use to defend like pucks. But it was like loose in the net. He comes down and blocks it. It goes off to the side. They don't score, and then also he has some incredible breaks too with Nathan McKinnon missing a wide open net,
which he does not miss often. He obviously missed one early in the year, but he doesn't miss that shot often.
So. Everything was going right, and again, these guys are talking about the miracle on ice speech. I mean, we play them 10 times, they might beat us 9, but not this time.
Nope.
Not this time, and the breaks are going USA's way, and, I will admit I was a little worried going into overtime. I know Gage said that it was probably the best chance for U.S. to win. Canada's got such a lethal lineup that they can put out there, and I didn't really get their strategy because it seemed like McDavid, every time he got the puck, he was trying to go 3-on-1.
Yeah, he was.
He never was trying to pass. He just tried to go to the net, and similar to what he did at the Four Nations, where he ended up getting the winning goal. He just tried to go to the net, and he couldn't do it. And then Cale Makar also. He made a mistake that he typically does not make. He tried playing the puck, and Jack Hughes poked it around him. That allowed a 3-on-1. McKinnon loses a 50-50 puck battle. So all in all, it was a total collapse. That last shift by Canada allowed the wide open shot. And, Jordan Bennington, he's been struggling in the NHL this year, but he was very good for Canada in this tournament. He opened the 5-hole, and, again, that's all it takes is one goal. So the golden goal goes to Jack Hughes, and USA is finally winning gold for the first time in 46 years.
What I will say about Team Canada is that 2030 is the next Winter Olympics, correct, Gage?
Yeah, 2030, yes.
2030. Canada's going to be even more loaded.
Yeah, they're going to be goated.
They're going to have McDavid, Bedard, Celebrini. They're going to have Matthew Schaefer, Cale Makar, possibly maybe Landon DuPont. Ooh. They're going to be even more scarier, man. And also, too, Nathan McKinnon is going to be on the Olympic roster. So Canada's going to be even deeper and more stronger. So Team USA, we got to get some more talent.
Yeah, I will say that. Yeah, USA, this was their best shot to win it. And because Canada's just going to get better. I mean, they're going to get Bedard and Schaefer, and that's already 2 huge pieces.
While we're talking USA hockey, let's give some love to the women. They also won the gold.
Give the women credit, yes.
Incredible goal by Megan Keller to end it. Both games in 2-1 in overtime. So congrats to the USA women and men's.
That was incredible. Both on Canada, both had golden goals, both finished 2-1. Both had, not late, but both had, late goal to tie it. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible game, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to give Austin Matthews credit for, his leadership and being a captain. I know he's been known to be a playoff choker.
Which he is.
Which he is a playoff choker. But it was nice to see him win something for once.
Yeah. Can you imagine? I just can't imagine how he has to go back to Toronto. Well, he already has, but yeah, you go back to Toronto. Think about it. From U.S., you play for the U.S. national team. You go back to a team that's from Canada and the Maple Leafs, and they cannot stand Americans. Mm-hmm. The same goes with Hellebuck with the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, some of these teams that you're just on, and then you have to go play for your national team, which, again, shows the beauty of the Olympics is because it doesn't matter how your records going for your own team in the NHL, you put that aside and you sacrifice well for the greater good of your country, and that showed out.
Yeah.
Yep. But after that, so we're gonna get into this next topic. You know, it was good that we talked about the USA men's and women's hockey team both winning gold, but now it's we're talking about the NFL offseason. Within this past week, a lot of things have happened. So we're gonna talk about the Bears first, and then on top of that, there are some other blockbuster signings that happened. So, Gage, I know you have somewhere to be. Do you want to talk about it?
I
a
can
little
talk
bit?
about the Bears offseason at least
Okay.
for now.
Okay, so the Bears, they've got Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
Devin Bush, Neville Gallimore, Khalif Raymond, Jedrick Willis, DeMarco Jackson, Elijah Hicks, and Daniel Hardy. If I'm missing anybody, please say it. That's what they got. But they also lost. The Bears lost Tremaine Edmonds, Kevin Byard. The Bears also traded away DJ Moore. I know you have a lot to say about that. They traded him for a pick, a second round pick. Also a shocker. Drew Dahlman retired.
Yeah, shocker.
Yeah. I don't think any of us saw that one coming. Nashawn Wright, he left for free agency. Y'all did say that he got signed. Who did he get
The
signed to?
Jets, unfortunately
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, so he's going to the Jets. Alameda Zacchaeus is going to the Falcons. Dominique Robinson went to the Texans. The Bears also traded for Bradbury to replace Dahlman. And yesterday, Jaquan Brisker went to the Steelers. So, what do you want to talk about? Like, I'm gonna let Zach go.
Yeah.
Like, how do you see this Bears team shaping up?
All right. So unfortunately, the NFL is, a business, and, good moments never stay. And, these players, don't get me wrong, produce a lot of great moments for the 2025 Chicago Bears. This is no longer the 2025 Chicago Bears. This is the 2026 Chicago Bears. And if you look past our defense and how they were causing turnovers, it was just a complete mess. I mean, we could not rush the passer. We still probably can at this current moment. We can't rush the passer. We couldn't stop the run. And when you can't do those things and you're relying on turnovers, it's not going to look good the next year. So they had to do something about it. I'm not saying that these losses aren't huge. Obviously, these are very good veteran players, very good leadership that we had with them. But, I mean, some of these we're just timed now. First off, talking about Drew Dahlman. Complete and total shocker. I mean, Ryan Poles did a heck of a job, and Ben Johnson did a heck of a job at fixing the offensive line last year. And we went into this offseason, the biggest need on our offense was the center and left tackle spots because Dahlman retired and Ozzie Trapello was out most of the year. So we're still trying to fix those. I mean, they re-signed Braxton Jones for cheap. They got the guy from the Browns. Can't remember his name.
Jedrick Willis.
Willis,
Yeah.
Yeah. So we plugged those holes up, at least for like 1 year. I think they are going to draft a center and take a center in the draft at some point. But, yeah, I mean, they had to do something about this defense, and Ryan Poles laid out his plan before in the Combine where he said he wanted to improve the team's speed because the Bears, again, while these players are great, the Bears were incredibly slow in coverage at times, and they're definitely still slow at trying to rush the passer, which hopefully, they can fix in the draft. So some of these, the market kind of dictated what they thought about some of these players, like the entire secondary. Like Kevin Byard made the most money out of it, and he only got $9 million for a year. I think part of that's also because he's familiar with Mike Vrabel and all that, so that's why that helped too. Trading DJ Moore away, we talked about it after the Bears season was up in that podcast a while back about how, it seemed like the writing was on the wall a little bit because with Luther Burden breaking out the way he did, the way Colson Loveland broke out, Roman Dunze coming back hopefully healthy. All you really needed was depth receivers. You couldn't really afford to pay a top guy, especially when you had other needs, pressing needs. So it made sense to trade him away. I did not expect another team to give up a second-round pick. Absolutely not. The Bears still had to give up a fifth-round pick with DJ Moore to get it. Still could not believe it because, while DJ Moore is a good player, he is approaching 30 years old, and he's not that quote-unquote dominant wide receiver one that main teams are looking at. Alameda Zacchaeus, he's a depth receiver. Khalif Raymond replaces him. That's fine. So just thinking about it with our offseason, I mean, yeah, it sucks to lose all these players, but at the end of the day, the NFL is a business, and they had to make changes. You could not sustain the level of success we had with our defense the way it was. So it made sense to get off some of these guys. I mean, it hurts in the moment. Don't get me wrong. And it's still our weakness is still the pass rush, still very much is, and hopefully they can find some guys in the draft because at the end of the day, if you can't draft well, you're not going to be good.
Okay. Well, I want to say it before I have to leave.
Yeah.
Before I have to leave here, let me just say it this offseason. I like the Devin Bush and I like the Kobe Bryant signing. I actually really, really like the Kobe Bryant signing. It sucks losing DJ Moore, but we all saw it coming. Or at least I saw it coming. Again, kind of like what Zach said, I didn't expect a second-round pick for it, so I'm actually really happy with that trade. I actually really think he's going to help the Bills.
Yeah.
Funny enough, I actually really think he's going to help the Bills. I think it's an underrated move. I think a lot of people are hating on it. Does it push into a championship? We'll see. I don't think it does, but we'll see. But I definitely think you at least get I'd argue, a reliable receiver. He easily becomes number one on that team. So he's going to, I think, become more motivated. I hate to use the motivated term because if anyone is on Twitter, motivated Dio Dangbo. But he's still, I feel like he's not going to be complaining about getting the ball more because he's the number one. I think he's going to kind of have a year like he did with Justin Fields in the first year. So I do like that move for the Bills. Again, I like Kobe Bryant. Willis, I know a lot of people are hating on him. He's not been very good, but I feel like if he can just even be decent, he's fine. It's a one-year deal. If he sucks, you just get rid of him. And again, then Ozzie will come back the next year. So I'm not too worried about that right now. It sucks losing Byatt. It sucks losing Briscoe, but most likely you were going to keep one or none, especially after we signed Kobe Bryant. The writing was kind of on the wall for both of them to leave. I'm not upset about losing Briscoe. It's a loss, but you have to find someone in the draft now for strong or free safety? Which one?
Strong safety.
Strong safety. So strong safety you need to find in the draft. And then obviously, you still have to get pass rush. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest thing right now. A corner, Nahshon Wright, I'm not sad about losing as well because, again, if you kind of look at his stats, he kind of hasn't had... I think his last turnover was against the Eagles, off the top of my head.
I think the second Packers game happened after that. So he had a turnover, that fumble near the red zone.
What about an interception?
Interception-wise...
That was a little
wild.
I think that was like the Steelers game. I think. So my point is that he was kind of bad in coverage. We'll see what he does in the Jets. I think it's a good deal for the Jets. It's a one-year deal if he doesn't work out again.
Well, replaces Sauce Garner.
Which, okay, I don't think he's going to do that good, but we'll see.
I mean, you just think about it real quick. He had more turnovers by himself than the entire Jets team.
Yes.
Last year.
But, so I'm just like waiting to see. And then, I think right now, obviously the Max Crosby trade, I think we don't have a lot of cap. So if you do trade Max Crosby, you'll have to push back a lot of contracts. But if you Max Crosby, obviously you're gonna have to look at. We'll see what happens with him if he stays, if he goes. He might stay now. It looks like we'll see. But you gotta find a pass rusher, whether that be in the draft. I really like that Falk guy out of Auburn. Mm-hmm. If you could somehow trade up to get him, because it looks like you'd have to A, hope he falls, or B, try and trade up for him. Because I've been looking at this guy from Clemson. I've been scouting and doing looking at this one combine website and looking at strength and weaknesses, and I'm just not falling in love with what's his name, TJ Walker. I'm just falling less and less in love with him. At first I was fine, but he seems more like a project to me than a good 1 year starter, and that's what you need. You need not a project, a guy that can step in and be immediately good. And that Falk guy I think is going to be a lot better, and that's what I'm looking at right now.
He's also young.
Well,
He's also young.
I hate to say it to you, Gage. When you draft later in the first round, you're going to get a lot of project players.
Yeah, I know, and that is true. And I'm not saying, but I mean that's why I'm saying if you can trade up for Falk. Or if he falls.
That's why you have the two second-round picks. You can use one of them trade up.
I'm just saying, you trade up a few spots and you get Falk. I wouldn't mind that actually. Mm-hmm. But we'll see what happens. Again, it's going to be an interesting offseason. Obviously, just began. It's far from over. Obviously, most of the big names are off the table, but it's still starting, and you can still get a lot of players. Still have an entire draft to get to, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Oh, and Garrett Bradbury I like a lot. A fun fact: everyone's making fun of him, but he gave up 0 sacks last year, and he only had 4 penalties. So that's
pretty good.
I'm just looking at sacks and penalties. You only give up 4 a year. I'm fine with that. And you give up 0 sacks. I'm fine with that.
He's just a bridge guy. That's all he is.
That's true. And he is a bridge guy until next year.
For that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But again, we'll see.
Yeah. Like you said, we got a whole draft. Like you said, free agent. The big names are pretty much gone. There's still a question mark over Max Crosby. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, it's still off season. You got a lot of time from now up until August. That's when the season starts back up again. But there's still a lot of time. Now, but like after the draft, you pretty much got to put in your trust in like, okay, this is what we got. Put the trust on Ben Johnson. See how he runs his team. He changed the culture in 1 year. So at this point, just trust the process. And, like last year, instead of drafting T.J. Warren, he drafted Colston Loveland, and I remember you on draft night did not like that at all.
No.
But Colston Loveland was actually a very promising tight end. So
Yeah, true.
whoever we draft, if we don't agree with it, just trust the process, and it's all gonna be good.
And it could always be worse. We could
Yeah.
be like the Colts and have
Yeah.
no first-round picks.
That's true.
Or we could be the Jets.
Or the Jets.
I mean,
Or the Browns.
I mean, yes,
Or the
those
Browns.
teams are obviously bad, but I mean, do y'all see that the Colts paid Daniel Jones $50 million?
I disagree with that
That's
move
a-
too.
that's a-
That's a different.
That's bad.
That's a massive overpay right there. Massive
But
overpay.
here's the funny thing. I knew he was going to get that money because if you look at Daniel Jones, I know it's only been 7 years, but if you look at his career, he's done this all the time where he plays good for one season, gets paid, and then he falls back off. So he's going to come back next year, he's going to fall off, and then I don't know if there's like a opt-out or whatever, but he's going to have like these 2 years be bad again. But then that final year, he's going to be good again because that's how it's written in the stars, and then they're going to pay him again, and then he's going to stink, he's going to suck, and then he's going to be good again.
Man,
It's just a whole thing.
Not him, but his agent and Kirk Cousins' agents need all the steak dinners possible, robbing teams of money.
Yeah.
The thing about Daniel Jones, though, I will say this: he's very good when he has a good run game. If you ever noticed that in his career, whenever
Yeah.
he has a good run game, he's good. But then once that run game falls apart, like it did in the second half versus the Chiefs, that's when he started falling off.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that?
Well, the thing is with Daniel Jones, I feel like he's just like, or with Kirk Cousins, Zach. I feel like Kirk Cousins has actually been able to be a franchise caliber quarterback, even though he's never won a Super Bowl or anything like that or done anything spectacular in the playoffs. He has at least been able to play up to a good level to be able to pay him that money, where teams
So-
can pay him that money.
So what's that? That's a run on Maple Leafs to the NFL almost.
Basically.
Just get him to the playoffs, and if that's all you're looking for, if I'm a team, if that's all you're looking for, then great. Then I guess sign him. I guess maybe not anymore because he's gotten older.
Not
He
anymore.
tore his Achilles.
Yeah.
But I mean, in his prime, if that's all you wanted, then I guess that's fine. Then pay him for that. That's all you wanted. But I'm not looking for that. If I'm looking for something, I'm looking for somebody that can take me over the top and win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. But we're gonna get into these other blockbuster signings. Gage, do you have enough time for this?
What's that again?
We got blockbuster signings. Do you have enough time?
I was actually going to say I might head out here. I was going to
Okay.
see what
Okay.
the next
All
subject
right.
was, but yeah.
Yeah.
You see
Okay.
stuff?
Yeah, you can step in.
Okay, one second.
Yeah. Well, we thank Gage
Yep.
for
Thank you,
stopping
Gage.
by.
Yep,
Thank
it was
you.
nice being here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're gonna bring in another guest. Hopefully he doesn't make all of us crash out. We always make fun of this guy, but we finally have him on the pod, Ryan Zappy Golf. But while he's coming in here, these other blockbuster signings throughout the offseason, Kenneth Walker III, running back for the Seahawks, went to the Chiefs. The Rams signed Trent McDuffie. The Atlanta Falcons signed Tua Tagovailoa. The Raiders signed Tyler Linderbaum. The Dolphins got Malik Willis. And Tariq Woolen went to the Eagles. And Mike Evans, this is a big one, went to the 49ers. And the Cardinals finally released Kyler Murray. He's going to the Vikings. And Travis Etienne's going to the Saints. So, what y'all want to start with? I'm gonna let Hunter start on this one.
Well, you know what I noticed? The Broncos were not mentioned one time. What are we doing?
Yeah,
All right.
what are y'all doing? I mean, I don't.
I have no idea. You're telling me. We re-signed everybody back, and we haven't signed one external free agent.
Well,
We brought back little Jordan Humphrey to be wide receiver 5. That man gives me nightmares.
So what
All
is
right.
it? Is it the money?
They were looking to go after Travis Etienne, but then he wanted to go closer back home because he's from Louisiana, so he signed with the Saints. That's why they were looking at him. But that's all I know. So, what free agents should we start with?
Well, Zappy, since you're on the show, and I know you got a lot to say about this, Kevin Byard is on your New England's Patriots. So what do you want to say about this?
I feel like the signing for a veteran player such as Kevin Byard, who was the interception leader in 2025, for only $9 million is a great pickup, and his history with Mike Vrabel and his secondary experience, I feel like he fits really well into the culture, first of all, and secondly, our secondary is overcharged now because we did let Jalen Hawkins walk in free agency, but Kevin Byard is an insane upgrade, and we probably got him for way less than we would have re-signed Jalen Hawkins for. So now our secondary is Christian Gonzalez, Marcus Jones, Carlton Davis III, Craig Woodson, our rookie from last year from Caltech, and then Kevin Byard. I feel like that's a top 5 secondary for next year, and I'm really happy we got a player of Kevin Byard's caliber to, first of all, lead Craig Woodson, Marcus Jones, the youth of the team, to the future of the secondary, but also to win now, basically, for really cheap.
While we're on the subject of the Patriots, I do want to ask you, what was that Super Bowl, dude? What was that Super Bowl?
I feel
what
like-
was that first half?
Wait.
That donut, that goose egg that y'all gave up in the first half. What was that?
So I'm going to completely say that we have holes on that team that need to be addressed, and I'm really glad that Elliot Wolf, our GM, has noticed that even though we've been to the Super Bowl last season, we're not going to let that say, oh, well, we're fine, we're not going to fix anything.
Must be nice.
There are holes on this team that need to be fixed, and I feel like it goes back to the O-line. This isn't an excuse. This is a fact. Will Campbell was injured and pushing himself through an injury during that game, which lessened the O-line. And then you got to think about both Will Campbell and Jared Wilson, our starting left tackle and left guard. We're both rookies that season. Garrett Bradbury did surprisingly well in that Super Bowl, and I'm sad to see him go. But as Gage said earlier, he's more of a bridge player anyway. And then Morgan Moses just kind of dropped the ball, you know. So now that we're moving forward, we signed Elijah Vera Tucker from the Jets as a free agent. He will systematically make our left guard position better, and now we can move Jared Wilson to center, which was his primary position in college. Our O-line strengthened, and I feel like the other biggest problem with that team during the Super Bowl was the fact that, well, first of all, like I said, the O-line gave May less time to throw the ball, but now May, who's moving to his 3rd season, will have another jump in production. I feel like we'll be able to tackle issues better off now, especially now with a better O-line. So I feel like now that we fixed the O-line, May's going to have more time to learn from mistakes of his second year. And we signed Romeo Dobbs, which will help our wide receiver core. And other than that, we just need an edge in the draft, and I feel like we're back up there as a threat to the NFL.
I will say getting Elijah Vera Tucker really helped the Patriots this offseason. Getting him really helped with that interior offensive line. What are your thoughts on that?
I would completely agree, and the thing that everybody's overlooking is that Morgan Moses and him were teammates for a period of time. They have a good chemistry together. They've already both said they're going to watch film together, and the fact of the matter is they're on both sides of the O-line, with Elijah Vera Tucker being on the left and Morgan Moses being on the right, and to have the right and left moving in sort of chemistry like that would be really good for the O-line as a whole, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out.
Who's your center now?
Our center would be Jared Wilson, our rookie out of
Georgia.
Georgia. And he played center in college. That was his primary position, and we moved him to left guard. So now that we're moving him back to center, I think he'll play. He played really well at left guard for a majority of the season. It just kind of all fell apart at the breaking point. But now that he's back at center, I think he'll play even better, especially moving into his second year. So I think our O-line has the potential to be a top 10 O-line next season. But we'll have to see if that potential is realized or not.
Okay, I was going to say, because, since this is no longer the 4th place schedule, this is the 1st place schedule. And, if you get to the playoffs, you do face the elite teams. So those are those elite defenses. And throughout the entire playoffs, just May kept getting sacked.
Yeah.
And that you just can't have that happen.
Yeah, I feel like now that the O-line has been fixed, we'll see how it plays out. But now that it's been fixed on paper, I feel like that helps May out tremendously. And what you got to remember about May is he was playing through a shoulder injury through the end of the Texans game, into the Broncos game, into the Super Bowl. And there's even a clip of Vrabel asking May if he wanted to continue playing during the Super Bowl after he got knocked out at the sideline. He said he was going to play. And look, at the end of the day, I'd like a quarterback who will get up and push for his team to win no matter how far you're down. And sure, it didn't work out this time, but Drake May has a bright future ahead of him. And his mentality, his matureness at his age and all this, and his leadership ability is going to get him there and get this team there. And I'm really excited for the future.
Yeah, but I gotta ask though, like, do you not believe that the Patriots had an easy path to the Super Bowl last year?
I feel like they had, when it comes to the fact that Bo Nix was injured in the Broncos game, that was a big, I don't want to say win because that sounds really awful, because I was very upset when Bo Nix got hurt, majorly because of Hunter, and I didn't want to see his team, the team he's rooted for his whole life, to go out like that. But at the end of the day, if May wasn't dealing with a shoulder injury, if our O-line actually showed up, we still win that game. But what you got to remember is our defense played really well, except for that first drive with Jared Stidham, where he threw that long ball. Except for that one play and a couple mistakes during the game, our defense plays surprisingly really well. And I feel like it's a different mentality if we're actually playing Bo Nix than it would be on Jared Stidham. I feel like our defense underestimated him a little bit, which I don't think Vrabel did. Vrabel's that kind of guy to say, oh, you don't underestimate anybody. But I think our defense underestimated him a little bit, and I feel like that's how he got these big plays. But I'm confident that defense could have still stopped Bo Nix. With the weapons Bo Nix has and how he played during the Bills game, in certain moments, I could see our defense being more of a struggle to him than the Bills' defense, which honestly wasn't as good as it has been in the past couple of years. So I feel like we could still win that game, but at the end of the day, we didn't win the Super Bowl. But that doesn't mean we have to sit here and say the Super Bowl's over, we lost, we're going to suck forever. We need to just put it in the rear view mirror and just move forward.
I don't know. I feel like it's easy to say for you. I mean, you are a fan of a team that has been winning for the last 15 years. And I mean, you're talking to the rest of us who are Bears fans who haven't even been born since the last time the Bears won the Super Bowl. And even before the NFL, when they were winning all those championships. But like, in recent memory, the Bears haven't even been that good. So I don't know. I think it's easy for you to say that the Patriots, you can just put that in the rearview mirror. I mean, who's to say that the Bears will be good next year? You can't.
Well, I'm not saying fans specifically. I'm not saying me. I'm saying the team. I feel like that's a mentality for any team that gets anywhere. Say, for example, you lose in the AFC or NFC Championship, you lose in the divisional. You got to push that to the back of your mind and just move forward as a team. It's not really a fan thing, because I'm sure as hell not letting it go. I think we should have done better. We should have tried harder. We should have won that game. But from a team aspect, from players and such, you need to push that experience into the back of your mind and just look towards the future. You can't let the Super Bowl loss haunt you. You can't let it dictate your future. And that's, like I said, that's what I really like about Elliott Wolf. He said we have holes on this team that need to be fixed, and we can't let us go into the Super Bowl change any of that.
Yeah, I got you. But after talking about these other blockbuster trades, what do you like? Let's start with Kenneth Walker to the Chiefs. How do you think that's gonna change how the Chiefs play?
I think they signed him because they know that for a fact Jeremiah Love, the running back out of Notre Dame, wasn't going to fall to them at number 9. So I think they signed him for that purpose. Obviously now Mahomes, when he comes back, will finally have a running game that will actually be sustainable. Must be nice knowing having that, because my running game, when J.K. Dobbins goes down, is abysmal. But I think it's a good move for the Chiefs. Obviously, they signed and they traded away Trent McDuffie, their top corner, to the Rams for a first-round pick this year. So obviously they're looking to retool around Mahomes once he comes back.
I think the Chiefs getting Kenneth Walker was a great move. I think signing him really helped with their run game, like Hunter said. I think they have to be realistic. They probably aren't going to get Jeremiah Love. Some teams probably going to take him top 5 in the draft. I've been hearing Cardinals, but I don't think he's going to go to the Cardinals because the Cardinals need O-line really bad. I think the Chiefs, they have holes on this roster, so getting 2 first-round picks and trading Trent McDuffie was a smart idea. The Chiefs have had a history of trading cornerbacks like to the Rams and just trading corners in general. They just don't really value that position, it seems like. But when you have a team that's in salary cap problems, you gotta let someone go or trade somebody. You can't pay everybody. And getting Kenneth Walker is gonna help with that run game. And I think Patrick Mahomes, when he comes back from that Achilles, is gonna have a good running game for him. Hopefully that helps for him.
Wait, was it his Achilles or was it his ACL?
It was an Achilles injury.
No, it was ACL.
It was ACL. I
Yeah,
thought it was Achilles.
No, it was ACL.
Oh, I thought it was Achilles.
But
No.
It wasn't just an ACL. He also tore his LCL.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got surgery like the next day, then was rehabbing it the following week because he wanted to be ready for week 1.
Building
But,
off of what Hunter said, I definitely agree. I feel like the Chiefs know that Jeremiah Love wouldn't fall into them, especially since the Titans pretty much came out and said Jeremiah Love is the best player in the entire draft, and they pick at 3, right? Titans pick at 4. The Titans pick at 4. So if Jeremiah Love's there at 4, I think the Titans are going to draft him.
most likely.
Hunter, let me ask you something. What would you do if the Chiefs drafted that tight end out of Oregon?
I wouldn't be surprised. I can't have anything nice. I wanted that guy from the moment the season ended because guess what? My entire tight end room scored 1 touchdown. You know who also scored 1 touchdown for me? A backup offensive lineman. You know what they're doing this year? They're running it back with the same group and expecting different results. Let me tell you something. Walmart money, it can mean a lot when it comes to signing bonus and all that, but it sure as heck doesn't mean a lot for free agency apparently because they haven't signed anybody outside the organization. They brought back little Jordan Humphrey, Adam Troutman, Nate Atkins, fan favorite Lucas Kroll. Obviously, that's sarcasm. But if the Chiefs drafted that tight end from Oregon, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think they're going to take offensive linemen. I think that's what they're going to do because they lost their right tackle and they're wanting to protect Mahomes as much as possible. So I think they're going to take a right tackle.
The Kenneth Walker signing was one of the biggest dominoes to first fall in free agency, and it was no surprise. It was rumors that the Chiefs were the top landing spot for him. The top target they were going after was him. And for good reason, too, because Isaiah Pacheco, after he tore his fibula, fractured it, he got injured. He was out a couple months, then came back. He was not the same guy. And even before that, he wasn't known as this quick, speedy guy. He's just an angry runner. And it just wasn't cutting it anymore. And when he lost that, you got to go find a different guy. And Kenneth Walker, coming off a great Super Bowl performance, was the Super Bowl MVP. First time running back won it since Terrell Davis or something like that for the Broncos. It gives Mahomes insurance that he doesn't have to do a whole bunch of scrambling because the last year he was the top Chiefs leader in rushing every game, it seems like, is what it seemed like. So because of that, getting Kenneth Walker is definitely going to help them obviously shore up a run game, in which case Mahomes can come back. He doesn't have to scramble all around because, being a mobile quarterback and having an injury like that can affect him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what the Seahawks were thinking letting Kenneth Walker go, and I get it. A lot of people are going to say to me, well, they got Zach Charbonnet, and I understand that, but at the end of the day, Zach Charbonnet is not he's good, don't get me wrong, but he's not going to be able to run that run game by himself.
He also tore his ACL.
That too, exactly. So I'm not really sure why they would let Kenneth Walker go. Why not pay him after being Super Bowl MVP? Why not keep him in your run game, a run game that is sustainable and even crazy some of the time with how well it runs between the two of them? I'm not really sure why you would let go of Kenneth Walker.
They're definitely thinking about the Jackson Smith-Njigba extension and other cornerback they got.
Witherspoon
extension.
Witherspoon,
So
yeah.
Zach, why don't you think the Seahawks could have paid him? It's only $15 million. I mean, was it really going to make that significant of a difference?
I'm telling you, teams are not big fans of shelling out millions of dollars for running backs unless you're really good. So if you are just a Bijan Robinson type or a Jahmyr Gibbs type, then yeah, that's fine. They can shell out the money. But if you're just below that, they don't want to pay it.
But
most teams just don't want to.
All right, let me ask you this. Okay, who would you rather have, Jonathan Taylor or Kenneth Walker?
Probably Jonathan Taylor.
Kenneth Walker's making more money.
Yeah, see,
That's another reason why is because he's slotted behind. The only running backs he's behind is Saquon and Derrick Henry, and he's not nearly the same kind of player as those two. But I would rather take Jonathan Taylor over Kenneth Walker. That's why they didn't want to re-sign him because it's too much money for the kind of production he gave. He wasn't even really that great in the season. He was just great in the playoffs.
I think the Colts should extend Jonathan Taylor and make him get $18 million.
They already have him on an extension. He has 2 years left.
Oh, okay.
A lot can happen in 2 years, injuries or anything else.
I mean, he could get injured. Heaven forbid. But
Yeah.
another team Tua. Well, the Broncos finally got rid of Tua.
Broncos?
Or not the Broncos, the Dolphins.
Yeah, there you go.
And the Atlanta Falcons signed him.
To the veteran minimum, so
Yeah.
like 1.3 mil or something like that.
Wait, hold on. I do gotta ask. Like, I don't know what they're trying to do because, like,
Dolphins?
the
Falcons?
Falcons? Because Penix isn't he hurt?
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Yeah, he tore his ACL.
Again.
They got Cousins.
No, they didn't. They released
Oh, they
him.
released him.
Cousins.
Okay.
Got him.
Okay.
So
I
they're
feel like-
competing for the top quarterback spot, and the reason why they're doing it is because the Falcons love left-handed quarterbacks. Look at their history; they had Michael Vick, they had Michael Penix, and now they have Tua. So they obviously love left-handed quarterbacks.
But even,
And I think they just don't trust Michael Penix Jr.'s injury history.
well, I mean, you can't really trust Tua's injury history, really. But that being said, I feel like their thought process is bringing in Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski can help out Tua a little bit, try to do a turning point of his career, or he can help Penix behind Tua.
I think Tua wins the job.
Well, Tua's going to win the job, but even so, like, a lot of good quarterbacks have had backup positions where they grow as younger players behind a veteran. I feel like that's might be what they're trying to figure.
Man, I really feel bad for Ian Cunningham in his first year on the job. No first-round pick whatsoever. You get it from James Pierce Jr., is that what his name is, out of Tennessee?
Yes.
And you don't have a first-round pick in your first-year GM? That sucks.
Yeah.
I think getting Tua Tagovailoa is going to help with the quarterback competition. I'm not a big fan. I like Tua, but he's kind of regressed a lot. I think Tua can be elite at times, but when he has like a lot of weapons, so maybe having Drake London, Kyle Pitts, and like other weapons that they have in Atlanta, and Bijan Robinson, maybe that will help Tua out a lot. But Michael Penix, in my opinion, should win the job because Tua did regress a lot, and if he can recover from this injury, I think Penix wins the job.
Well, that's a big if, Grant, and even so, they're not paying Tua that much money. They're paying him 1.3 mil. So if it doesn't work out, they can just tank and get
Plus,
a quarterback next year.
That was
with their
also the
first
old
round pick.
regime that picked Michael Penix Jr. This is a new head coach, new GM, and
Exactly.
everything. So I think they're going to go with their guy.
And Kevin Stefanski hasn't really done much in his career as a head coach, I'll give you, but I still think he has the tools and the ability to lead a team to the playoffs. Even now, even after everything that happened in Cleveland, because let's be real here, Cleveland is front office, Cleveland's ownership has very much sabotaged their team over the years, which doesn't really help Kevin Stefanski in any way.
Oh, it's a dumpster fire over there.
Exactly. So I feel like now that Kevin Stefanski's in a somewhat competent ownership with Arthur Blank, and now having Matt Ryan be president of football operations and a new GM, I feel like there's the potential for the Falcons to go somewhere. I just don't think it's going to be this year with this team.
Zach's still upset that they didn't
Thinking
get-
about that, I ain't gonna say anything bad. I'll just say screw the NFL for not giving us our third round comps because we definitely deserve them. Okay, Ian Cunningham was a minority candidate, minority hire. He was in a promotion. I don't care what the title says. I don't care that Matt Ryan said his title is president of football operations, which apparently is the only thing the NFL cares about because he is not running the decisions. He's not running the draft, not free agency, none of it. Ian Cunningham's doing it, and yet we got no third round comps, and those were very necessary. So I want to say that. But for Tua, I mean, okay, the Falcons are one of the biggest, if not the biggest, enigma franchises you could think about. Like, nothing about them makes sense. They have a good infrastructure in place, okay? They got Kyle Pitts, who, whatever you want to say about him, it is a pretty decent tight end, okay? He's not elite, but he's a pretty decent tight end. You got Drake London, who's caliber number one wide receiver.
He's
You got
just injury
Bijan
prone.
Robinson, very good elite running back, okay? So they have the infrastructure you would seem like in place. They still can never figure out running quarterback. They had Michael Vick, middle 2000s. He leaves, and they had Matt Ryan, right? And he was an MVP candidate for that 1 year in 2016, and he was pretty decent all around. But after he got traded away, they've tried to plug it in with Desmond Ridder, and they tried to plug it in with Kirk Cousins, paid him a whole bunch of money for him to just, be really bad. Then they drafted Michael Penix at 8th overall, shocking everybody.
I still don't understand.
And
why
he never became that guy, and he's suffering another injury. And then you got Tua now, which again, his injury history with the concussions is always something you got to be worried about. So if the Falcons would ever figure out how to get an actual quarterback in place, they could be going places because I actually do like what they've done. I mean, James Pierce messed up his career by getting into legal troubles, but I really do like the infrastructure the Falcons had. It's just that they don't have the quarterback, and when you don't have the quarterback, you're not going to win that many games.
Is James Pierce's NFL career over? They haven't released him or anything. I thought he was just going to get some of the charges got dropped against him. Do you know, Zach?
No, I think he's still dealing with that.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Well, I think some of the charges got dropped, but not all of them. And honestly, I don't care who you are, celebrity, football player, whatever. If you do those type of things to law enforcement officers, you do violent things like that, you should not be allowed to continue playing in the NFL if you'd be doing stuff like that, or at least get punishment or something for doing such things like that.
His mugshot was crazy.
He's definitely going to get suspended, though. He's definitely getting suspended.
Well, I'm not really sure. Goodell never wants to do anything to punish anybody lately, so you never know.
It might be out of his hand, though, at this point.
Fair.
So, yeah, that's why the Falcons, very weird franchise.
Yeah.
Zach, you were right about his character concerns, though. You were right about his character concerns.
Yeah, he did have those
Well, that's why he fell in the
before.
first place.
Before
Yeah.
That's why he fell. And they gave up a first-round pick, and the Rams, that trade worked out for them.
Yeah. Now, Tariq Woolen went to the Eagles. Does that change anything on the Eagles' defense, or
I don't
not
think
really?
So. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the Eagles are a good defense, and that's just like a depth piece at the end of the day,
Yeah.
really. But if Vic Fangio does retire, like rumors have in the next 1 or 2 years, then that defense suffers significantly. And I feel like you need to get people in place now for the future of the Eagles.
The Eagles' strongest side of the ball has been their defense,
Yes.
without question. Okay, don't get me wrong. If you look at their offense should be very good. Okay, they got Devontae Smith, they got AJ Brown, and they got Saquon, and then you got Jalen Hurts, who can be fine if the situation is right. The problem was the situation wasn't right last year. Whether it was his play, obviously his play is a big factor into that, but also the offensive coordinator, which is the same offensive coordinator he still has this year.
Kevin Patullo is going.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, Kevin
Yeah,
Patullo-
they fired.
Kevin
Okay,
Patullo got
then,
fired.
who is it?
I have
It's
no clue.
it's like the former Packers quarterback coach.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Sean Mc.
Okay.
I feel like Hurts is a good enough quarterback for situations. He's just overrated. I don't think you can... sure, he won the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. He played really well in that game. But I don't think he's in the elite conversation at all.
I have
really
his
don't
name.
think
His
he
name's Sean Mannion.
Okay.
He was the
I-
Packers quarterback coach.
I actually, after this season that Jalen Hurts had, I actually have to agree with you, Ryan. The fact that he's never thrown for 4,000 yards in a season is it's not all that impressive. I mean, he's a great quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
He has
I just
the
can't
pot-
explain him.
He has the potential to be elite, but in that playoff run and that Super Bowl run, I feel like he was very much carried by Saquon Barkley, and he was very much carried by Kellen Moore's offense. And say what you will about the Saints, but I think Kellen Moore, now being the head coach of the Saints, can turn that franchise around and get them to the playoffs the next 2 to 3 years. I think Kellen Moore can do it after what I saw in Philly and after what he did with Tyler Shuck last season.
I was like
think
going to
he
say,
gets that.
Tyler Shuck actually was...
Tyler
no
Shuck
one
was
talked about
balling.
him. He was doing really well.
Yeah,
second half of the year.
I feel like Tyler Shuck is the future of the New Orleans Saints.
So I didn't even know the Eagles fired there. I couldn't remember, but yeah, Jalen Hurts. He's a starting NFL caliber quarterback if the team around him is really good. So he's definitely Howie Roseman's doing a lot of the carrying for them, like he's always has, because he's a great GM picking the draft picks and all that.
No, Howie Roseman's a genius.
And they just like re-signed Jordan Davis, but there's talks about them giving up Jalen Carter.
They're not
because-
trading him.
Well, I know. Well, yeah, because no one's going to want to give them the offer that they want.
Well, no, they said they're unwilling to trade him. They just made it clear. I saw a report they're not willing to trade him at all.
Yeah, because
There's also rumors
teams
circling
weren't
that
giving
AJ
him-
Brown is on the trade
Teams
block
weren't-
too.
AJ Brown, yes, but not Jalen Carter.
But
No, he wasn't.
Broncos, if you're Broncos, hear me. Trade for AJ Brown, please.
Yeah, well, AJ Brown wants out of the Eagles anyway.
yeah, but here's the thing with the Eagles' defense. So they just let go of Reed Blankenship, which I don't understand why they would not have re-signed him. And they lost a lot of pieces last offseason, like Milton Williams and
They lost N'Kobe Dean.
Jacoby Dean and Josh Sweat. They keep losing these people on defense, and like it worked out last season, but I don't really know if it's going to work out this season. I don't really know. Like Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell are one of the best QB duos in the NFL right now, but if you end up actually getting rid of Jalen Carter, and even so, Jalen Carter had a down year last year, didn't he? Right?
Yeah, he got hurt. He had to
Yeah.
have surgery on like both his
So
shoulders.
you don't really know how he's going to come back as a player. I think Vic Fangio can do it, but the Eagles are an interesting team to think about. And knowing an Eagles fan who likes to talk either a lot of garbage about them or likes to defend them all the time, I can see all sides of it. It's really interesting experience to hear from an Eagles fan.
Yeah. Now another thing, I don't know which one to start. I'll just do with this one. Mike Evans went to the 49ers a couple days ago.
The 49ers are completely a dysfunctional franchise for signing him for what they paid him and how many years. 3 years, $20 million is insane with his history of injury, his age, and his production last year at the Buccaneers. I just say like the 49ers are insane for doing that.
Well, I mean, the first 2 years are probably guaranteed, but after that, they can cut him probably. It's you know.
But that's still, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think he's gonna do as good as they think he's gonna do there. And the fact that he has a mentality that they were one piece away from a championship last season, and he thinks he's that missing piece to winning a championship, I just don't like it. I don't think the 49ers made a smart move in paying him that amount of money.
Well, I don't think he's the missing piece to win a championship, but they do need a wide receiver one because,
Yeah, I was gonna say
frankly, Brandon Ayuk is not that piece.
Well,
And
wasn't even-
well, they're gonna
he wasn't even playing.
Yeah.
He was out, and their wide receiver one was Pearsall.
Yeah.
And George Kittle was out most of the season.
But
And
let's put it this way: if he goes down in an injury again, because he got injured 3 separate times last season,
yeah,
gruesomely in some cases. What if he goes down next season? Well, what then? Like, what are you bidding on? You know.
Well,
what I'm
technically,
saying?
every 49ers player gets hurt.
pretty much.
Exactly. That's an even bigger problem.
That's what their missing piece is.
But the fact of the
Being
matter
healthy.
is, if you put all of this effort, time, and whatever else into Mike Evans, and he just goes down like week 2, week 3, who is your wide receiver one? What
It's
do you
gonna-
have to fall back on?
Most likely going to be Pearsall again.
Exactly. So why not get somebody younger? Like, why didn't they trade for Brian Thomas Jr.? Why didn't they go after?
But doesn't Brian Thomas Jr. cost too much, though?
Well, I mean, I feel if you're the 49ers, it's worth the risk to trade for him because he's young, he's productive, he's not as injury prone as a lot of other wide receivers in the league. I feel like he was worth it. And even in free agency, you could have gone after Romeo Doubs before the Patriots got him. You could have went after
Alec Pierce.
You could. Alec Pierce was always signing with the Colts. That was never going to happen. We offered him $37.5 million a year allegedly for 4 years, and he took 29 to go to the Colts. So I feel he was always signing with the Colts. But who else was the wide receiver candidate in free agency?
I mean, technically speaking.
I guess it's only Romeo Doubs.
Stephon Diggs is still on the table.
Yeah, honestly, I would have took Diggs over because Diggs had
Juwan Jennings.
Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings came for the
Kendrick
49ers.
Bourne.
Again, came for the 49ers.
I know, but those guys were both free agents.
I mean,
And so Brandon Ayuk's also going to be a free agent.
Diggs
when they
had
release him.
1,000.
Yeah, but why re-sign him, though?
Diggs
I
had
would
a-
sign him for the vet men.
Diggs had 1,000.
Of course, you're
receiving
desperate for
yard
wide
season.
receivers right now.
Yes.
Like, you should have looked at that. Now, I just don't think it's a good move by the 49ers, really don't. I don't really know what they do anymore. They make poor decisions lately.
For me, hold up. For me, you are right in the fact that I don't think Mike Evans is the missing piece. Like, I know what he said, but the 49ers, to me, have a lot of holes in their defense, especially if Nick Bosa and Fred Warner both get hurt, which seems like happens every other year.
Yeah.
I think Robert Saleh was doing a heck of a job just trying to Band-Aid it all together. And did
And
really
now
well, and now he's gone.
Exactly.
So you don't know what to expect with that defense. So I feel like their defense is actually a bigger priority. But they did have a need for wide receiver.
I feel
They
like
did.
this is the year the 49ers missed and Kyle Shanahan gets fired.
I don't think Kyle Shanahan
that's
gets
a
fired.
That's a hot take. I get it. But I just feel like this is the year they miss, and the 49ers organization finally decides we're tired.
Well, technically,
of
that
Kyle
happens.
Shanahan screwing us over.
That happens every other year, though. One year they miss the playoffs, the next year they're just in the NFC Championship. That's just what the time tells you.
I get that, but Kyle Shanahan has a history, and he's blown 3 10-plus point leads in the Super Bowl.
I do want to stop you right now because I'm seeing something. Apparently, this is a rumor going around right now. The Patriots and the Rams are trying to make a land for A.J. Brown right now. I don't know how true that is, but since you're a Patriots fan,
What's the rumor for that? Where
I don't know. It just says the Patriots and the Rams are making a strong push to land the Eagles wide receiver A.J. Brown.
Look,
I don't know who they're giving up for him,
I've
but they
heard,
want him.
I've heard talk that Howie Roseman wants a second and a fourth, and that would get the job done. Honestly, I cannot be insanely upset about doing that. I mean, I wish we could do it a little cheaper, but anything's better than a first and a second, which was the preliminary talks. Now, the thing with that is, if I'm giving up a second or fourth, I'm going to want them to take on some of the cap. I am not taking on the full cap of $30 million this season for A.J. Brown, especially with his down production last year, his injury concerns, and the fact that he is getting a little older and he's on the older side. I mean, it would be great because he has the chemistry and history with Mike Vrabel. He is a true number one for Drake May, but I just don't want to give up an insane amount to get a wide receiver under those conditions.
All right, hear me out. I'm going to look directly in the camera at the Broncos for this. Troy Franklin, pick 30 for A.J. Brown. All right? Then you flip and you trade a second and a fifth for Jalen Waddle.
Not going to happen, Hunter. I'm sorry.
But imagine if it did. A.J. Brown and Jalen Waddle on the same team.
That would be something.
With
especially Bo
Cortland
Nix.
Sutton, and they still got Marvin Mims. Little Jordan Humphrey's there still, but it's whatever.
This
He's wide receiver
isn't
5.
about that, but we were talking about how the Bears lost these free agents. They just lost Simone Biles. Jonathan Owens got signed to the Colts.
That sucks.
So what does that do for the Colts now?
He's a backup, so it's like whatever.
Well, the Bears
I'm
just
just saying.
need depth
I'm just
at
saying.
safety
I'm just saying
now.
that they lost Simone Biles too.
Yeah. I mean, look,
that's tough.
even if we don't get A.J. Brown, I think we had, as the Patriots, had a successful free agency. Because we didn't re-sign anybody except for Tommy DeVito. That is the only person out of all of our free agents that we re-signed.
Must be nice. We
lost-
re-signed everybody.
We lost Jalen Hawkins, who was really, really good last season, but fell off at the end of the year. We replaced him with Kevin Byard, which was an upgrade. We lost Clevion Chazon, which we got Dre Amont Jones to replace him. And we gave up Stiggs, and we got Romeo Dobbs to replace him. So we gave up a lot of players that were helpful in the 2025 Patriots. And like Zach said earlier, this ain't the 2025 Bears anymore. I feel the same way. We move on, we upgrade, we take upgrades on the team, and I feel like that went really well. But A.J. Brown would be nice. I just don't want to go all in on him, if you understand what I mean. I don't think it's worth it to us to go all in on him.
Yeah, well,
There are other things we could trade for, like an edge, for example.
Well, I do gotta ask who. Okay, because y'all don't have Stephon, y'all released him.
Yeah.
So who would be your wide receiver one?
So our wide receiver one would be Keyshawn Booty, and then
Dobbs
Romeo
is two.
Dobbs would be our 2, Demario Douglas would be our 3, Kyle Williams would be our 4, and then Efton Chisholm III would be our 5.
What about the other guy,
see,
Matt Collins?
the Patriots.
I want to release Matt Collins. If you're listening, Robert Kraft, Mike Vrabel, and Elliott Wolf, I want to release Matt Collins. I think he's good. He was a good, consistent target for May, but I feel like we're going to draft a wide receiver, and we need room for younger players, and he just not fits.
What round?
I want to take Elijah Surratt from Indiana in the
No.
second round. That's who I want to take. I don't think we're going to, but I feel like he is a Mike Evans type with the physicality and the one-on-one, winning one-on-one matchups. And he would be really good for the team. And I do like Kyle Williams. He has that speed of like Tyreek Hill, has that speed of like fill in the blank here to outrun defenders and go be a deep threat. And I feel like he's going to have a massive jump in year 2. But like I said, we gotta let go of older people like Diggs, like Matt Collins. So we have these young players who I know will be good, take the spotlight. And Efton Chisholm III was an undrafted rookie last season. And every time he played, he caught the ball, he ran it down the field, he did well, he had some juke moves, etc.
Trust me when I say that young doesn't always mean productive.
Yeah, I know. But Demario Douglas is another one I look at. He's from Liberty. We drafted him in 2023. He is a very good wide receiver. He doesn't get the ball enough, and he doesn't get enough opportunities. But when he does, he can juke out anybody and get to that end zone. So honestly, I'm really happy with a system that is Booty, Dobbs, Douglas, Williams, and Efton Chisholm. I'm really happy with that. And if we can get Elijah Surratt, that would be awesome. If we draft somebody else, trust the process. I trust Mike Vrabel and Elliott Wolf to draft players that really will do well for the team, just like last
Well,
year.
you can't really trust Dobbs when it comes to squib kick, because he's just gonna give the ball away.
No, onside.
We're not putting him. The thing with that is I don't want him on my special teams at all.
Well, if he's wide receiver 2, he's not playing teams.
Exactly.
The only wide receivers that play teams is like 5.
My special teams is Marcus Jones at punt returner, Brendan Schooler, who's honestly I would compare Brendan Schooler to a Matthew Slater type for a special teamster. He is really good. I like my special team. We just extended our special teams coordinator, so that's great. But I feel like Booty, Dobbs, Douglas, and Williams is going to be a good wide receiver core. I don't really care what anybody says. I've seen these people play, and I think given the opportunity, they will go and wreck shop,
Yeah, I got you. And then I want to briefly talk about Kyler Murray going to the Vikings.
I feel like that's a great move. For
I'm
the
gonna let.
Vikings.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna let Zach speak on this, and the Bears fan and the Vikings are in the same division as us. But go ahead.
All right. So this is not about Kyler Murray. It's just that the biggest gripe I have with the Vikings is that Brian Flores is their DC, and he is a madman genius. So that's the biggest addition I felt like they had, is because they resigned him to be their DC. Okay, I know that guy over there is like making fun of me for saying that. Yes, you. But it's still truth. Brian Flores is a great DC. So the fact that they still have him upsets me. Okay, and the fact that Kyler Murray went there is also somewhat upsetting me, because, I mean, Kevin O'Connell, yeah, he's a great offensive mind, but when he has ever had great team success regular season wise, he always loses in the first round. I feel like that's what's setting up for Kyler Murray as well. I mean, yeah, the joke is they got 9 and they got 5'9" on their roster, but Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. He gives them something that they don't have, which is obviously escapability, rushing. He also has a pretty decent deep ball, and he's more competent to throwing the football than J.J. McCarthy is. So that's the biggest thing that they needed to fix, was that quarterback position. Bring in competition. I can tell you right now, this is not competition. J.J. McCarthy's going to lose. Kyler Murray's going to be the starter. And the Vikings could be right back in at 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins, back at where they were. Because, you could think they had a down year, but yet they were like basically 500. With J.J. McCarthy being in a hot mess. So the fact that they were that good without a quarterback means that if they do get a competent Kyler Murray,
They still fire their GM.
and I know they still fired their GM, but that's because that guy's bad at drafting. But
Oh, I know.
they still put together a great roster. Okay, they still have a great roster. They have a great coaching staff. Vikings could be right there, back at the top of the NFC North. I hate to say that, but that's just facts.
I think the signing Kyler Murray was a nice move for the Vikings to do, but I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan. I liked him in college, but I just feel like his character concerns. I mean, the problem in Arizona, why did Arizona cut him? Because of his character concerns and his commitment to football. How do you know in November whenever the Call of Duty game comes out, he's not going to be committed to playing football anymore? Because I hear that, like, is this a true stat, Zach? That when in the beginning of the season, Kyler Murray plays great, but then when Call of Duty comes out, he plays terrible.
Well, that's just the Arizona Cardinals in general. I mean, it ain't just him. I mean, yes, he does tend to fall off when the Call of Duty game comes out, and there's been jokes made about that. But Vikings have a way better infrastructure than the Arizona Cardinals. I think we all know that. Like, I think the Cardinals hiring not
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur's brother, Mike LaFleur.
Yeah.
I think that guy has, no offense to him, one and done written all over him, because that hiring came out of nowhere.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think he's got one and done. I think they're tanking for a year based on what their QB room is of Jacoby Brissett and the other guy they signed. What's his name? the guy Gardner Minshew. I think they got tank written all over them, and they're going to tank for a top quarterback.
Brissett didn't do insanely bad last season. He had a lot of good flashes last year.
No, but I just think that team in general was just built for tanking
Well, yeah.
for the season.
But
Well, even still, that still proves my point that the Vikings have a way better infrastructure, obviously.
with,
Even if they fired their GM.
yeah, with Kyler Murray, I feel like we're going to have a repeat of the 2024 Vikings. They do really well. They make the playoffs. They get eliminated in the first round. And then Kyler Murray goes somewhere else and balls out, just like Sam Darnold. I think, honestly, KOC is a head coach that can put quarterbacks into a position to win, and that gives them confidence to go win somewhere else. And honestly, I think Kyler Murray is going to have a turnaround just like Sam Darnold. Now, is Kyler Murray going to win the Super Bowl? No, but my thought is that he'll do really well. The Vikings, they'll let him go, and then somebody else will sign him, and he'll build a career somewhere else.
Well, my thing is because like you said, yeah, I think he might have. Like you said, I think he might be better than McConnell or the quarterback for the Vikings right now.
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, JJ McCarthy. I think that he's gonna outplay them when it comes to training camp. He's gonna be the QB1. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere because there's not that many teams with the QB space. I mean,
There could be a lot come next offseason, though.
next offseason, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you build the Vikings up to the playoffs, you get eliminated, and then somebody has interest in you because they need a quarterback. You're cheap, and you look good at the Vikings, and then you go ball out, build a career there. I mean, I hate how people talk about quarterbacks that once they start doing poor, they're never going to get good again. And I feel like it could apply to Tua, that could apply to Kyler Murray, that could apply to anybody. Like, we don't really know. Tua could ball out the Falcons. Who's to say? There's a lot to go with football. There's a lot to do with football. Injuries, thought processes, coaches, people around you. Anything can change at the drop of a hat. And I honestly, I've always liked Kyler Murray as a quarterback, and I really hope he turns it around with the Vikings. That would be really cool.
I understand what you say, but there's only a certain amount of time that you can take for a quarterback to be as good as they are. Okay, for example, Justin Fields. We gave him 3 years on the Bears. Nothing has changed.
Yeah.
Though he has some flashy plays that people romanticize about. But if you look at the scoreboard, you're still losing and you're 3-14. But, he's on the Jets. Has anything changed? No. He was on the Steelers. Has anything changed? No.
To be fair with that, I feel like the Bears front office and the Bears coaching staff really stunted Justin Fields. And to be fair, I feel like the same thing happened to the Steelers. And I'm not even considering the Jets. The Jets are a poverty franchise that ruins everything that comes into their organization. If Justin Fields was given a starting job or even a backup job this year, I think he could make something out of it. I just don't think... I think the Bears broke his confidence. The Steelers were ready to drop him at the drop of a hat, which hurts his confidence. And it's the Jets. The Jets had no turnovers last season. No interceptions last season on defense. They trade away all their offensive pieces except for Garrett Wilson, who was injured
And
all
Breece
year.
Hall.
And Breece Hall, yeah.
And Breece Hall, but Breece Hall's one player, and I get it. Run play is good to have when you play a lot of play action and such. But that's one player. He had no O-line. He had no weapons. He had no anything.
I think it's for him. I think it'd just be better if he just carved out a Mitchell Trubisky type role where he's just a backup and just tries to get contracts.
Justin Fields, yes, I do agree the Bears did stunt his growth and development, but I was never a Justin Fields fan. I kind of wanted him gone for a while. I've been saying it. Like Zach remembers, like when I first came to Ball State, I'm like, get me Caleb Williams, please. Get me Caleb Williams.
We all remember that. Those were the days.
And and I was right. We won a playoff game because of it. Justin Fields, I hope he did everything the best for him, but he's just a backup quarterback at best. I just think his throwing mechanics he has a lot of throwing mechanic problems, and he just can't fix them. If Justin Fields was better, he would be a franchise quarterback in this league.
Maybe.
His rushing ability is definitely right on par with Lamar and Michael Vick.
Yeah.
So,
But
there's
even
that.
then, Lamar's a playoff choker or something. They like comparing rushers to Lamar. Really, I feel like it can go both ways. He doesn't really have a lot around him some of the time that fail. But Lamar's a playoff choker. That's just how it is. And I don't think to say that Fields has the rushing ability of him. I don't really think that's going backwards in my thought process because
I think that's a compliment, actually.
it's a compliment. I get that, but I don't know what I'm saying. Never
I'm
mind
just
what
gonna
I'm saying. I'm sorry. My
hang on since we're talking Jets, their GM is from the Broncos, so I wish him all the best because Woody Johnson's not really the best owner. We know that he's like bottom third. I think he's like 31 or 32 in terms of ownership. So just let Darren Muji do his thing. Let him build up the team.
He actually got a B for the NFLPA report cards. Woody Johnson.
Well, those things.
those things are flawed because Miami
never-
Dolphins got an A.
I never
so
listened to those things.
are flawed.
That's because he invested in a practice facility, and they have a very nice practice facility. That's probably why.
Or the players just like the Miami weather.
Well, Woody Johnson didn't want to trade. Well, he was Amari Cooper, right? He didn't want to trade for Amari Cooper.
No,
because-
Jerry Jeudy.
Fine, he didn't want to trade for Jerry Jeudy because
Which
of
I
his
agree.
matting.
Do not trade for Jerry Jeudy. That guy's a bum.
All right, now we gotta go into this next topic. Max Crosby. Okay, so the Ravens they signed Trey Hendrickson.
Yes.
But they
They were going to sign both.
they got Max Crosby, and then within 24 hours they backed out on the deal because of a knee injury
that we all knew about.
that everyone knew about, and so they backed out of it, and now Max Crosby is back on the Raiders, but the Ravens signed Trey Hendrickson in replacement.
No, they were gonna have both Trey Anderson and Max Crosby. That was their plan.
Okay, but still.
I feel like the NFL should punish the Ravens in some accordance.
Well-
Nothing too harsh, but there should be some punishment for dropping out of that trade.
I want to ask why.
We all knew he had knee issues. The Raiders were very upfront about that. The Raiders were very upfront that he wasn't there yet, but he would be soon. You can't just agree to something, get all the paperwork done, and then just drop it. You can't do that. I feel like there should be some either fine or pick removal from the Ravens for doing something like that.
Well,
that sets a precedent for things like that to happen in the future.
Well, I think they said that his short term was going to be good, which is fine. But I think they were looking at the long term, and apparently his long term image of his knee showed that he may have complications later on. And they felt like the compensation they gave up, especially with the amount of money he's going to getting paid, they didn't feel like it was the right thing.
We all kind of really already knew this already, and like I said, the Raiders were very upfront with every other team in the league about that, including the Ravens, so they already knew. And even two GMs went anonymous and said that what they did was wrong because we all knew what was going on beforehand. You can't just say, I'm going to give up all of this for this player and then drop out of it because. You can't do that. That sets a precedent for the future, and you can't have that when making business deals.
I think the Ravens backing out of the Max Crosby deal is disappointing, but the Ravens, you know this, Hunter, they're a drafting team. They love drafting. They love using first-round picks to draft. They value the draft a lot. Isn't that right, Zach?
Well, some of that is just because some guys just follow to them.
Well, yes. I mean, the Eagles and Ravens have been the two teams that people look at when they're drafting, and like they take advantage of when players fall to them, like Kyle Hamilton when he fell to 14.
Linderbaum.
The Ravens, and Linderbaum and all that. I mean, yes, they understand first-round picks are very valuable, but I honestly think the Ravens think that their window is closing and shrinking really fast with Lamar because again, you've seen Mahomes' athleticism taking a dip. You've seen Josh Allen's athleticism not really take a dip, but it could be coming because the age gap is definitely shrinking.
Well, not only that, Lamar Jackson missed a good chunk of last season.
I was saying that too. So the fact that they have Lamar locked in on this contract they have him now, which is like 3 years, I think they really think their window is like 3 years. They were trying to go for it, and that's why they tried to make the trade for him. But yeah, I mean, he wasn't going to pass a physical right now. I mean, he just had major knee surgery. I think we all know that.
Meniscus, yeah.
But
Why was he jumping on the trampoline?
if anyone knows about a player getting a trade rescinded because they didn't like his medicals, I should know because the Lakers rescinded the Mark Williams trade because they didn't like his foot injury that he had. So, I mean, I've seen a team back out of a trade, my own team back out of a trade. So the fact that they backed out of it, something we haven't really seen. But I tell you what, I bet the Cleveland Browns wish they knew that they could back out of a trade because then they wouldn't have traded for Deshaun Watson.
Well, I think with the Deshaun Watson trade, though, I just think the Browns were just being desperate because I thought they thought they were a piece away from winning a Super Bowl.
When are the Browns not desperate? Let's be real here.
Because
I'm just saying, if they would have known that, they would have just obviously backed out because then they would have gotten back at least better PR than what they have, and they would have given the Texans like 3 first-round picks.
You know who's really happy about Max Crosby?
The Raiders.
The Bears fans right here. because now they could trade for him.
Well-
And yes, I know you don't have the cap space right now to do it.
You know-
but that's why you like maneuver some
I don't think
money
the Patriots
around,
could
and
trade
then
for him, too.
you could.
I don't think the Bears are going to trade for him.
You know, I don't think I want Max Crosby anymore because I'm not a big fan of trading for people who are injury prone.
not really
that goes for
injury
all.
prone.
I'm just saying that goes for all. Sports.
Yeah, technically that was his first big injury.
Like if you look at like his like career, he doesn't miss games. The only reason why he missed games last year is because the Raiders were demanding that he sit out.
And the crazy part is there's a stat from last season. There were only 7 times last season when a player on defense played 100% snaps of that game, and all 7 of them were Max Crosby. No other player last season defensively played 100% of the snaps of a game, and Max Crosby did it 7 times.
So
Not
I
even
wouldn't-
Myles Garrett?
I wouldn't.
No.
I wouldn't call him injury prone. Just that he had a major injury, and you know you could be worried about that for when he ages,
Honestly,
which is understandable.
I
but-
think
But you're in a window.
That is true. He's not wrong. Hunter's not wrong.
even so, this is a hot take. I get it, but like Max Crosby, if given an edge on the other side with an actual competent defense, unlike the Raiders, could be better than Myles Garrett. I'm not saying for a fact he would be, but he could be if he was given an edge on the other side and he was in a competent defense. Because the Raiders are not a competent defense. Let's be real here.
Well, yeah, they're not really a competent franchise.
They're not a competent anything.
But
Exactly.
you know, I was gonna say this is like the reason why I don't think the Bears are gonna do it is I don't want to call McCaskey's poor, but Adam Schefter did
When did he do that?
like earlier like today explaining why he doesn't think the Bears are gonna do it. Something about the Bears and their cash flow and whatnot, and they got to be worried about paying Darnell Wright, which is true. Paying Darnell Wright an extension, paying Caleb Williams an extension, trying to work out the stadium deal, which, by the way,
It's
I
going to
mean,
be 10 minutes
if-
from my house. Thank you.
If it would be
Like
easier if you
15
just
for
got the.
mileage
I don't want to go into talking about the stadium real quick. I just gotta say it'd be easier if you just built on the property that you owned and then demolished the said facilities that were there. I would have just been rather just build it on the Arlington Heights because then you could have gotten all the money possible because you already own that land.
I get that, but I mean, the politicians of Chicago and the greater state of Illinois are making it very hard for them to do certain things, and are charging them a lot in taxes, not helping them with roads, not helping them with this,
It's mainly
and
just the
that's why
taxpayers
they
that wanna
want to leave, because Indiana has already said that we will help you with this, we will help you with that, blah, blah, blah. And I feel like it would be really good for the economy of Indiana,
But my thing is, you build a stadium in Hammond. Okay, but here's the thing. You want to build a stadium and something that gives people a reason to go. So, for example, you would be better off putting the stadium at Arlington Heights because it's already thriving, and it gives it's more inviting. Hammond is not really that inviting.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree.
it's not that inviting. And the area is not really doing that good compared to how Arlington Heights, because Arlington Heights is filled with not rich, but wealthy people over there. Hammond, it's not really that inviting. If you put a stadium there, even during the off season when the Bears aren't having games, why else would people go to that stadium? Or the Battery, people go to the Brave Stadium even when the season's over because they still got restaurants, movie theaters, and stores and stuff there. Nobody's going to want to go to the stadium if they put it in Hammond.
I feel like the opposite could be true, though, too. If you put the stadium there, then that brings business, that brings things that can be built there, and you can make the area as best you can, given the fact that the Bears are already there. I feel like it could go both ways. It could rejuvenate the area, it could help the economy in Indiana as a whole, and it could create let's just put it what it is, a tourist destination, really.
I think the Bears moving to Indiana is silly because Virginia McCaskey would not be happy about that. She wants the team in Chicago, and I think George should honor what his mom wants. I think Kevin Warren should also honor that as well.
Well, it's also a threat. They're probably not going to do it.
I know that, but
At the end of the day,
it's Chicago Bears.
at the end of the day, it's all about politicians.
Yeah.
It all comes back to politics. You know how much I can't stand talking about it.
Well, guess what? The mayor of Chicago wants the Chicago Bears to stay in Chicago and in Illinois. He does.
Okay, look, so I agree with Jalen's assessment. It was a threat at one point, but I don't think it is anymore because after Brandon Johnson went out and said that they're just, talking, they're just making threats, this is not actually something that's going to happen, I feel like that makes you bold. You know, if they're really gonna say, oh well, you're just doing it to get us to cave, and we're not gonna cave, then that may make you bold to actually do it. And no offense to Virginia McCaskey, but at the end of the day, she's gone. It's not really what she would have wanted type stuff. You can apply that to anybody who dies, anybody who moves on. It's not really about them anymore, and that's just a sad reality. Things are gonna change, people are gonna be forgotten, and things are gonna move on with the rest of the world. You can't just stop moving because this or that. You know, you got to keep moving along with it. So.
Anyway, what else do you got?
That's about it. That's about it when it comes to football. But I do want to briefly talk about the Bulls for a little bit. As a shock to nobody, they went 0-11 in February, but then recently, the last 6 games, they're 3-3. They beat Milwaukee, they beat Phoenix, and they beat Golden State 2 nights ago.
Grant knows that. He watched 2 of those games and they won both. So you should keep watching so they keep on winning, Grant.
Grant's the good luck charm for the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah, keep watching, Grant.
Yeah, your short of bashing the Chicago Bulls really did well.
In February.
What I think is absolutely atrocious is just like, why? What's the point of winning? I keep saying this. There's no point in being mid in the NBA. There's literally no point. All being mid in the NBA does is just get you a mid-lottery pick, and you just have to get lucky. And the Chicago Bulls have not had luck with lottery luck in the mid-first rounds. They just haven't.
Well, we also
Apparently, they would have had Cooper Flagg if Kevin Durant's toe wasn't on the line, according to that post.
Well, also we can't draft, so that's another thing.
Yeah, apparently this guy did a chain reaction of what would have happened if Kevin Durant's toe never hit the line, and apparently, like the last one is the Bulls land Cooper Flagg in the draft.
Even so, I feel like Cooper Flagg going to the Mavs was totally.
It was a conspiracy theory.
No, look, it's backroom dealings. There's no way that the Mavs let go of Luka Doncic, and then the Mavs happened to win the lottery, especially since they had like a 0.1% chance of getting it. That's not luck. That's just the NBA trying to get viewership, trying to get 2 separate teams with all-stars.
But the thing is, the Chicago Bulls are an iconic franchise. They're a marketable franchise. So the NBA should be trying to help the Chicago Bulls.
Not anymore.
Adam Silver, I'm asking you right now, please give the Chicago Bulls luck in this lottery. Please.
So, well,
He's too worried. First of all, Adam Silver is way too worried about people gambling to help out the Chicago Bulls.
And tanking.
I mean,
and, hold up. And real quick, speaking about Luka Doncic, you put up 51 against the Bulls. So, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So, I mean, no, in all seriousness, with the Bulls, okay.
I love that the Bulls continue to be made because it makes this guy angry right here.
Yeah, it does give some funny rants, but in all seriousness about the Bulls, everyone knows that you'd be probably better off building the Bulls on a 2K roster than you would actually realizing the actual team is going to be doing anything, because AK is a problem and Billy Donovan is a problem. Yeah. And,
massive.
They just keep
Jerry
extending him.
Reinsdorf is a problem, okay?
That's the biggest problem.
Thing is, he's accepted a rebuild. He's approved a rebuild.
Yeah, well, it hasn't happened.
Approved. Yeah.
It hasn't happened, and you keep saying that, and it still hasn't happened. And
Technically
he almost is like the Bengals with their front office in football. He's not firing these guys, even though they're clearly incompetent. And because of that, the Bulls still aren't going to be able to do anything, even though that you guys are on the weaker conference, the Eastern Conference. So I feel like if you just tanked, even though I know they're trying to get rid of tanking, if you guys would have just tanked like a couple of years ago and gotten a couple of top 5 picks, you guys could have been turning it around like the Detroit Pistons.
No, they wouldn't have. They would have been taking Patrick Williams 2.0.
I mean, technically
top
speaking,
5.
we've been taking since 2017, but
The second Jerry does not own those 2 teams, the White Sox or the Bulls, Chicago sports will get better.
Well, there is some promise for the Chicago White Sox. Now,
I get that, but Jerry's just gonna screw it up. We all know this. There's
No, they're
always
gonna-
No, he has a
promise,
plan.
and
He has a plan in place.
Yeah, it's
the
fine.
ownership is actually going to change.
it's fire this coach and put in somebody incompetent so then they can lose some more.
What's that one guy Gage is really happy about that you guys signed in the offseason?
Munataka?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
Murakami.
I think he's gonna really help the team, and I'm really excited to see it.
Well, you're only gonna get to see him for 1 year because baseball's going into the lockout because the LA Dodgers just outspend everybody.
I don't even think it's
There
because
needs to be a cap space. I agree.
It doesn't help that the Dodgers do that, but they're not the only reason why that's happening. I think baseball was always headed for a long
Oh yeah, and Bryce Harper, you say you hate the lockout, or you say you hate like having a salary cap. Well, god dang it, just beat the Dodgers, and this wouldn't have been a problem.
well, backtrack on the Chicago Bulls. Yeah, this organization is just dysfunctional. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I think AK is just being dumb because he could have as easily tore this roster down and just said, because this draft is deep. Okay, this draft's deep, Zach. He could have tore it down to begin the season and during the offseason, and we would have been bad.
Yeah,
but these teams have been tanking so much that the Bulls are just, it's too late. It's too late.
Yes, but you realize, it goes back to what I said, is that he'd be better off again in 2K building the Bills roster than it was in reality, and hoping that
That man found
it.
Jokic. Don't you think he could do the same for the Bulls?
No.
No, heck no.
He just needs a Taco Bell commercial to come on in the second round. The Bulls need to pop up, and then there you go.
A Jokic comes around if a blue moon occurred on Friday the 13th.
Well, actually, he would come in a horse stable because he likes horses so much.
But you could just be like Gage and pass on Shaquille O'Neal, when you have the potential to draft him,
And it's just like, you just like look at what the Bulls are doing and look at what a team like the Thunder are doing. The Thunder are clearly one of the best front offices in the NBA. And they executed their plan to perfection. The Spurs, even though they got help with the NBA luck, thank you, Adam Silver, because that guy's thanking Adam Silver, because he definitely guaranteed the Bulls a couple of those top 5 picks.
But not even the
especially
Thunder,
the Wemby
Spurs.
draft, okay? So you got a Spurs, smart front office, Thunder, smart front office.
Celtics.
The Lakers suck, stupid front office, okay? The Bulls suck, stupid front office.
But not even the Thunder. The Celtics have a really
And
good
the Celtics,
front.
yeah, the Celtics have a good front
I mean,
office,
Jason Tatum came back.
Well, eventually,
he's had 59
the Lakers,
points in 3 games.
the Lakers' new owner, he's definitely making changes because he's wanting to improve their scouting and their front office in general. So I think he's going to spend the money to improve it.
I know.
Look, talking about the Celtics,
But that's slow and steady. So
Oh boy,
Tatum was gone for a long time, and we still were second seed in the East.
yeah, that tells you more about the East.
But you could
than
say-
it does the
but-
Celtics.
That's a testament to Joe Mazzulla as a head coach, because our roster is good. I get it. Derek White, Payne Pritchard. But other than that, who did we have?
Jaylen Brown.
He is having a career year.
Other than the MVP, Jaylen Brown, I'm saying. But other than Derek White, Payne Pritchard, Jaylen Brown, who did we have?
in all honesty,
Jordan Walsh has been pretty good for you guys.
Well, yeah, but that's Jordan Walsh. That's in a Joe Mazzulla system.
And then Hugo Gonzalez is pretty good.
His name's Hugo.
Hugo Gonzalez.
Hugo
in
Gonzalez.
all
The
honest-
H is silent. The H is silent.
In all honesty, this is just Brad Stevens' world. We're living in it.
Brad
Because look at his entire resume. He was at college. He won there. He's in the NBA. He won there.
He's a
He
genius.
didn't win the whole title, but he did win a lot. Okay, when he was the coach, then he jumps up into being a president of basketball operations. He hires Joe Mazzulla. Well, first off, he hired Ime Udoka. Then he went to the finals, but then he got in trouble. They fired him. Then they hired Joe Mazzulla, and they continued to win. And he won the title. in
No matter
2024.
how much I don't like the Thunder, I gotta agree with Jalen's assessment. The front office is really good, but that being said, their depth is really good because their starting 5 has missed a combined 101 games this season.
Yeah.
And they're still putting it out there because they have depth pieces. Who's the coach of the Thunder? I have no idea.
It's Mark Dagnall.
Yeah, he's doing a good job with depth pieces, and that's what I feel the same way about Joe Mazzulla. We're working really well with Baylor Shireman, Hugo Gonzalez, Neemias Queta, names, not household names before the season started, and even now aren't really household names. If you're a Celtics fan, you know them. If you're a casual fan, you probably don't know them. And they're balling out there, and I'm really excited for the future of the Celtics.
Yeah, imagine developing players.
Yeah,
the
it's
Bulls don't
great.
do
It's
it.
great,
Lakers don't do it.
I think what the NBA really needs to do is just help the iconic franchises, man. It'd help a lot.
Yes, help me.
The
help our
Celtics are doing
franchise.
really well. We're an iconic franchise.
Hey, Ryan,
Yes, help the Lakers. Do not help the Bulls.
Help the 76ers. Do that. Jesus.
Nobody likes 76ers. Not even 76ers fans like 76ers. Come
Well,
on.
that's just Andrew.
Andrew hates the Sixers.
They keep marketing trust the process, bro. The process died.
The
5 years
died
ago.
5. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Is that everything?
Well,
not everything.
Bam Adebayo of all
yeah.
people. Bam Adebayo of all people dropped 80. Okay, okay, I'm gonna say this. He dropped 83 against the Washington Wizards. He had a field goal percentage of 20 for 43. 7 for 2 or 22 when it came from 3-point range. But the most damning thing is 36. He made 36 free throws out of 43.
Yeah.
What does that tell you?
No,
What does that tell you?
Oh,
know
it just
what?
tells you hold up. It just tells you I should be the one to talk about this. Considering that Kobe Bryant is my favorite player, was my favorite player, still is my favorite player from the NBA. Okay.
LeBron has 34
And
hours to
and
respond.
and he passed. I guess technically it is a somewhat record, even though Wilt has the all-time record, even though they still have not dropped the footage of his 100-point game.
We're
but
never gonna see that footage.
But yeah, he passed Kobe Bryant. I wasn't that shocked, honestly. With the way the scoring was going, I mean, Luka a couple years back dropped 74. Yeah, Devin Booker, he dropped 70, I think. Damian
Donovan-
Lillard dropped 73.
Donovan Mitchell dropped 72.
Yeah, so the fact that you had these games that were just in the 70s, I knew it was...
Didn't Clay drop 70?
I don't think he did.
He probably dropped 50.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah, I think that's what he did. He dropped like 60 actually.
Yeah.
But I wasn't that shocked that he broke the record. I'm not gonna be one of these Kobe fans out there that's like, upset the way the game was played. That's the way the game is played now. This is a bunch of free throws, getting a bunch of fouls, and that's what was happening. I mean, yeah, sure, you can hate on the way the Heat was doing it, missing intentional shots and then fouling the Wizards so they just go to the line, they get more possessions, whatnot. Eric Spoelstra, he had a very passionate interview about it, how he said he didn't really care. He used more explosive words I can't use on this podcast, but he can. Congrats to Bam Adebayo. Okay, it is a great achievement. I mean, it is. It is still. You still have to make the free throws. Mm-hmm. So the fact he made 36 is definitely good for him. And just you got to remind yourself. I looked back at a video. I think I put on my story about how Kobe Bryant said, after your playing career is over, you look at the next generation. Bam Adebayo is that. After Kobe Bryant retired in 2016, you look at it and you just got to celebrate them for what they achieve. And now that's all you got to say is congrats to him for doing something that you probably thought you hadn't seen in over 20 years. Because Kobe Bryant's 81-point game happened in 2006. So all in all, applause to Bam Adebayo for passing Kobe Bryant's record. But I will say, I always thought that Kobe Bryant was a borderline top 10 player. The fact that people say that this ruined his legacy did not, okay. The man still has 5 championships. He still has 5 rings. So he still won 5 championships. So with that being said, I just got to say, again, congrats to Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, my take on it is I watched some of the game when he was up, and I watched some of the highlights. And my take on the free throws is the Wizards couldn't really stop him. They were fouling to stop him from just going up to the bucket. And at the end of the day, you can make the argument, okay, yeah, 36 points from free throws, but he would have got it either way, I feel like. And I agree with Zach. It doesn't really cheapen Kobe's legacy because it's in all fairness, it's like 2 eras of basketball type thing because it was 20 years ago in 2006. It was a different game at the time, not much different, but you know what I'm saying. It's a different game now than it was then, and I feel like we should celebrate both of them and not just say, oh well, this makes Kobe lessened or this makes him lessened. I feel like both of them achieve things that only so many have achieved in NBA, and I feel like we should celebrate both of them for it.
Well, one thing that I've noticed between different generations of basketball is that the modern generation really likes to take a dump on the generations before them. Not saying the people in this room like to do that. I'm saying people on the internet, people on Twitter like to take a dump on players before us, saying oh, this is the players nowadays are way better.
Jordan played against plumbers, is what they like to say.
Yeah.
Jordan, in some of his championships, he was playing against Hall of Famers. He played against Clyde Drexler. Man, what championship was that when he played against Clyde Drexler?
92.
Yeah,
92.
92. Yeah, that path. Yeah. That certainly wasn't easy. But also, you also got to take into account a lot of fouls are called nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot not even nowadays. Before 2017. They were letting a lot of things go back then.
They were letting them play, and I feel like that's what we should do. The Celtics just lost to the Thunder last night.
Via free throws.
Via free throws, exactly. And that whole game, it just felt like the refs were very much favoring the Thunder. And like, I'm not gonna get into we should have won that game. The refs screwed us over. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm gonna say is I'm glad we lost by 2 points with no Tatum, no White, no Vucevic, and we almost beat the best team in the NBA.
You know what's funny is like, I know this wasn't true, but the fact that they on Twitter I saw Underdog NBA put Jason Tatum out, and then they usually put the reason why Lou Dort management. So they didn't want him to go up against Lou Dort, so Lou Dort could get him hurt.
I think Bam's 83-point game was awesome to watch. It happened unexpectedly. No one expected this. The NBA has kind of gotten a lot soft these days, and I wouldn't be surprised if a player scores 90 points at some point. I mean, that's how soft the NBA has become with 3-point shooting and free throws and stuff like that. It's just the game is just it's awesome. The game has been on the decline, but everyone likes watching it. So I mean, I don't know what you would call the NBA these days, Zach. Just popularity for 3-point shooting competition every time.
It's not even that. I think the NBA now is just okay. Baseball. Okay, when you put it like this, baseball, no position is guaranteed. In basketball, it doesn't matter. Like, why are players like Paul George getting re-signed, players like Bradley Beal getting signed, and like again, their positions are secure. It doesn't even matter what they put up now. It's about what they did back then, and it's just like clinging on to stars nowadays. And, they're not really built, like they only build up the stars that they want. So like Cooper Flag,
I was gonna say, like, I think the NBA is just, again, more protective of their stars than they were in the past. But with that, the way the injuries are happening now, it isn't because they're fouling them hard and hitting the ground. No, they're getting hurt and injured because the game is just so fast paced. It's like a lot of movements and all that. Like Steph Curry, how he makes his living is off the 3-point line and moving around and off balls. And I think that's what a lot of teams are trying to incorporate, and that's why, basketball, NBA wise, goes from October to, if you're lucky, early like late June, early July, and then you got to think about all the other, like, maybe the Olympics comes around, maybe the FIBA Cup comes around. I mean, that's just like a lot of basketball that's played in a short amount of time, really. So there really is no like rest days. Like, you still got to get training in the off season too. So yeah, because of that, that's just like a lot of wear and tear on the body, and that's why, it is unfortunate you see guys like Jason Tatum go down in the playoffs, Halliburton at the end of the finals. But, I don't think there is going to be anything that the NBA can do. It's just more luck, and hopefully it isn't you that gets caught with the injury.
Yeah.
I'm not a Pacers fan. Even I was sad to see Halliburton go down, especially in the way he did, the timing he did. It sucks to be a star player in any sport and go down in the final game. You have that mentality, you let the team down, and I really hope Halliburton gets healthy and gets to come back at some point and play to the level he was playing at the time. And I hope Tatum's already there pretty much with 59 points in 3 games, but I hope he gets back to 100% too, and these star players, because nobody wants to get injured. Nobody wants their career to take a dip or take a break on injuries, and that's just where we live in. Injuries are a part of sports,
Yeah, but it's not as, like, okay, like recent years, like basketball.
That's been really bad, yeah.
It's been like you can't even. It's like nowadays a championship has an asterisk next to it because you played this team, but they were hurt, like, and it hasn't been the same since the pandemic. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I feel like if you lose a game due to injuries or you win a game due to injury, that's just a part of sports. Like, sure, I'll be salty about it, the fact XYZ was hurt or whatever if it's my team, but I'm not going to raise complete hell about it. Injuries are a part of football, part of basketball, part of whatever sport, and the more we realize that, the better our lives will be, that we're not arguing about what ifs or what if this happened or what if that happened. Just let it be what happened and move on from that.
Yeah. Now, before we end it, I do want to talk about this. The WBC in baseball. Well, I do want to briefly say the White Sox are 1-9-1 in spring training, and the Cubs are 9-10.
I mean, 11-9. You said 1-9.
Oh yeah, well, 11-9-1.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, like Ryan said, about the Reinsdorf being the owner of the White Sox. It might not be the same thing for the Bulls, but for the White Sox, there's some upside when it comes to the White Sox. I mean, y'all got some really good players in the infield. You got Colson Montgomery,
And they're gonna add another one in the draft.
yeah, Lenny and Sosa. You got Tanaka. Yeah, and plus you got all these depth pitchers. I mean, it's still decide whether we got to see how they play in the regular season. But you got a lot of pitchers. Sir Anthony, what's his name?
Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yeah, Sir Anthony Dominguez. Yeah, it's very. I'll say the future is bright for the White Sox.
Oh, it is. It is. People were making fun of their GM Chris Getz because they just promoted him from within, and it doesn't look good when you promote a guy from within, especially from when that guy was a part of those losing seasons.
Yeah.
But he has definitely built a supply of prospects, especially the infield again. That's why you see a guy like Lenny and Sosa who can mash, but is not part of their plans potentially because that's how stacked their infield is with prospects.
Mm.
So because of that, you have in baseball, and Grant knows this because his favorite team, I swear, is the Braves, even though he says it's the White Sox. The core group of baseball players that you have together. With the Braves, it was Ronald Acuna Jr., it was Ozzie Albies. It was Dansby Swanson until he left.
To the Cubs.
But their infield and their just the whole team. Austin Riley, Freddie Freeman before he left again.
Sean Murphy.
Yeah, well, he came a little later.
And then Drake Bolin, too.
But yeah, in baseball, when you're going through rebuilds and going through losing seasons, hopefully you get lucky with your picks. Thankfully for the White Sox, they do get the first overall pick, so they take another guy, probably a shortstop. With
The guy from UCLA.
Yeah,
Raj Cholowski.
Yeah. So they got something building here. Again, back when they had the old core, I would have been a bigger fan of hiring AJ Hinch than Tony La Russa. But it is what it is. The White Sox are here now, and they're doing a good job. They can definitely match the baseball.
I think the White Sox have an extremely bright future. Zach, the reason why I take the Atlanta Braves philosophy is I like giving guys extensions early. Because, I'm a guy that has a philosophy of when you extend these young guys early, it's going to be better for you in the future financially for baseball teams.
Yes, well, that's fine. You just can't overpay them.
You just can't overpay them.
But
Which
you
is a
tend
slippery
to
slope,
Which is the problem.
Yeah.
You do tend to overpay them.
And those Braves players are always hurt.
Talking about MLB The Show rebuilds. This guy wants to do Moneyball rebuilds. He overpays everybody, I swear.
I actually did a Moneyball rebuild over spring break, and it was actually pretty successful.
Yeah, but I'm just saying,
or you could just pay $250 million to Bailey Zappi for 5 years.
I think that the White Sox though. I think getting Mamakani, the guy from Japan, is that what his name is, Zach?
Yeah.
I think he's going to be a great DH for us.
He's going to be great. Yeah, I'm excited to see him.
Maybe we could possibly trade him. We're not doing very well, but I don't think we are because we want to get fans in seats.
They're not going to trade.
I actually will be going to some White Sox games this season. Maybe 3 or 4. We'll see. But I'm excited for the season.
Yeah, I will definitely be going to the Crosstown Classic again. I was at the one last year, and that's the one last year. That's when I actually started getting excited for the White Sox because the Crosstown Classic, the second one, happened after the All-Star game, and they put it was the Cubs. They put in Shota. He got absolutely obliterated in the first inning.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he's going to get obliterated this season too.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, isn't he on another team?
No, he's not.
He's not?
No.
He should be.
Yeah, he accepted the tender because it's 1 year for $20 million.
Yeah.
Of course, he's going to take it.
His market wasn't there.
The Cubs have announced that their starting pitcher for opening day.
Matthew Boyd.
Yep, Matthew Boyd.
Yeah.
I'm not upset about that.
I am.
Why are you upset about that?
Because I'd rather see Cade Horton because he can actually throw gas. Which, by the way, Jed Hoyer, I know you're not going to watch this, but stop going after pitchers who have no velo and just command.
Soft tossing, contact
because
oriented
today's
pitchers.
MLB, you need guys who throw high velo, and we only have 2 of those guys.
Just because it worked with Jake Arrieta does not mean it's going to work every
Well,
time.
even Jake Arrieta, I think he threw a 96 mile per hour fastball.
Well, he threw a 96 mile hour sinker.
Yeah,
But speaking of White Sox pitchers,
But
I am-
Shota and Matthew Boyd do neither of those things, and neither does Jamison Tyone.
Speaking of White Sox pitchers, I really am excited to see Garrett Crochet play again for the Red Sox because he'll be opening day pitcher, which I'm really excited about.
Speaking of pitchers,
Playing the Reds,
can the
opening
Cubs?
series.
Can you draft a pitcher in the first round and stop taking outfielders?
You know, speaking of outfielders,
though.
what I don't like Seiya Suzuki in the outfield.
Nobody does.
I've seen some clips from him from spring training before he went to play for Japan. He's not been good. He's not.
We know.
He's
not good in the field.
No, he's not.
Yeah, but the only guy that apparently they want to put out there besides him is Matt Shaw, and he's an infielder.
Yeah.
Turned outfielder. He plays all over the diamond, really.
But I don't like Matt Shaw for other reasons.
Yeah. I mean, okay, if you want to talk about the I know you said the World Baseball Classic. I'll tell you right now, I don't know how Mark De La Rosa got the manager job for Team USA. The guy does not understand that it's rules, and he had 4 years to learn them. He still doesn't understand them. He thought the USA had clinched before they played Italy, and guess what happened? He played with like baseball gods. They most of the time do not reward you. They lost. They were on the brink of elimination. They weren't even going to make it out of the pool group, but they got lucky that Italy just absolutely dominated the team that they were playing.
Mexico.
Yeah, and so thankfully, because of that, the USA can be a part of the team, the games that actually do count.
Well, they're gonna play Canada.
Yeah, I know they are.
Oh, we got that.
Like later tonight.
Yeah.
Well,
USA beating Canada. It's in our blood.
I just think it's Japan. all
the
the
thing
way.
is I think the Team USA, we need to get Paul Skeens on the mound ASAP. Please.
Dominican is just gonna win.
I'm just saying.
I think it's
When you
Japan.
have Roman
It's
Anthony,
either gonna be
who can
Japan or
hit
Dominican.
home runs, I'm just saying.
We all know Paul Skeens is a Dodger or a Yankee in the next 3 years.
He's most likely gonna
Paul
be a
Skeens
Yankee.
will not be a Dodger. He will be a New York Yankee.
I think he's.
That's
Mark
what he
my
said.
words.
Look,
That's what he said. He said
Paul
Dodger or
Skeens,
Yankee.
Paul Skeens will go to the Dodgers unless
thought he
they
said Dodger.
implement the
I said
salary
Dodger
cap.
or
If
Yankee.
they implement the salary cap, then Paul Skeens will probably be a Yankee. Yes.
He's most likely gonna be a Yankee. Cause okay.
It's gonna suck because I don't like the Yankees, but
But Paul.
They
Skeens-
still ain't going to win the World Series with him.
yeah.
Well, the Yankees is just frauds.
Well, yeah, that's why I said they're not going to win the World Series with him. I mean,
They're not even gonna make it with him.
Aaron Judge.
I mean,
a bum.
sure. Okay, Aaron Judge hits about 60 bombs a year, but
But this is the regular
outside
season.
of him, can you really trust their lineup? They were running out Paul Goldschmidt last year. They're running him out this year. I mean, they got what's his name, Anthony Volpe.
Volpe.
He's terrible defensively. The whole Yankees group really is terrible defensively. Besides Judge and Ryan McMahon, but Ryan McMahon is not very good offensively. So they just got a bunch of problems. They got a bunch of money on their roster tied up in guys like Judge, like Bellinger, like Garrett Cole, who's 35, getting paid $35 million a year.
They also got Carlos Rendon.
Yeah, and they just their rotation is
Yeah, they
decent.
also
They got
have that,
Max Fried.
Yeah, that guy.
So and it's not like they don't have good. It's not like they don't have obviously good players. They have good players, but you see the way the Blue Jays are spending their money. Blue Jays, one heck of an offseason, by the way. They got a core group, young group of players. I mean, yes, they let
They
let Bo Bichette walk, but it's like whatever. They still have Vlad there, and he's their main piece. They weren't going to let him walk.
Still got
And they have a deeper group, I think, than the Yankees. So I think the Blue Jays, prediction wise, is going to win the East. They still got the Red Sox, with their rotation still being very dangerous, and the Yankees I think are going to battle out for second place between them. And whether that gets them in the playoffs or not, I still don't think the Yankees are going to go far.
I think the Red Sox might go far since we have arguably a top 3, if not a number 1 pitching rotation in baseball. So,
Yeah, you just got to be worried about the offense.
Yeah, I know, but I wish we had kept Bregman. That didn't happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, he went to my Cubs.
But I like Roman Anthony a lot. Jaron Durant's always really cool. I like Trevor Story. Cedane Rafaela's always nice. We have a good-ish team that could probably go far in the playoffs. World Series, probably not. But we'll get there in the future, I feel like, especially if a salary cap gets implemented into the MLB.
I do want to say, I know it's spring training, but, it's more when it comes to the depth in the bullpen for the Cubs, that's kind of been the problem for the Cubs for the last 3 or so years.
It's a problem.
You know what's
It's
the
a
problem with the Cubs?
It's a problem every year.
It's
actually.
because Tom Ricketts refuses to pay above $200 million for a guy.
We still don't have a closer.
Oh, I know that too. He
It's
refuses to go out. Jed Hoyer refuses to go out and actually sign one.
I mean, we had Hector Neris, but you know how that ended.
Heart attack, Hector.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Tom Ricketts,
spending big money.
Sell the team.
Spending big
Please.
spending big money on the bullpen is not necessarily an answer for it because with baseball, bullpens are very fluid. Okay, unless you're the Milwaukee Brewers. Again, I keep saying it. Unless you're the Milwaukee Brewers and can somehow turn out like these no-name relievers into like 2 ERA, 3 ERA pitchers, you have a hard time like finding good pieces year in year out. Okay, that's why the Cubs bullpen last year was pretty good. Okay, it was. But is it going to be good this year? I don't know. There's a whole different group of characters out there, so we'll just have to wait and see.
Daniel
And again,
Valencia and Caleb
I have a problem with the Cubs rotation being the way it is because Shota Imanaga prone to giving up the long ball. Jameson Taillon meatballs galore up the middle, bam, smack out into the home run, like 3 or 4 home runs given up. Justin Steele's coming back from injury. We'll see how he is. It's just velocity is not the end-all, be-all, but it wouldn't hurt to have more velocity in our rotation. And in the bullpen, too. They don't have velocity in the bullpen either. So.
Yeah. But I think that's a good stopping point for this podcast. This has been an episode of Windy City Weekly. Thanks to our guests.
Yes, thank you for having me on.
Yep,
I appreciate it.
Yep, and Ryan coming in during the halfway point. Thank Gage for stopping by. And I've been Jalen Ferguson, and of course my co-host Grant Godwin, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.